Hey everybody, Lord Tremendous here. I got another battle report here for you. Tomb King battle report. I feel like I'm home. It's a 2,500 point battle, and it is now Bone Lord Tremendous of the Tomb Kings, that's me, versus Count Chocula, the vampire counts. And I don't know why I called him that. I just liked the cereal, and I decided I needed a vampire name, and that one was suiting. But this one is a real good battle report. It's got a bunch of ads at the end, the banner guy, and also my Warriors of Chaos, the units that I'm selling, and the prices that I'm asking. So if you don't want to see that, you can just fast forward past all that and go to the recap if you'd like. But anyway, sit back and relax and get ready to watch the undead kill themselves. Yeah, something like that.
Assemble the army!
Here's my list, and there has been some changes since the last time I played this list because, well, that's kind of what you do when you're putting an army together. Anyway, my general is still a Tomb King, Bone Lord Tremendous, kind of dirty. He has the Sword of Anti-Heroes, the Armor of Silvered Steel, and a Dawnstone. And here's my logicking with that one. The Sword of Anti-Heroes, he's in that big unit of like 60 skeletons. The Sword of the unit gets attacked by multiple units usually with big characters in it because I got a lot of damage I got to put in there. The Sword of Anti-Heroes is kind of a no-brainer. I don't know why I wasn't using it before. I'm kind of stupid. But, I mean, think about it. +1 strength, +1 attack for every character in base contact with the unit or with the individual, which is awesome. I mean, if there's 3 characters in base to base with your unit, you know, enemy characters in base to base, you're looking at a strength 8, 7 attack Tomb King. Yeah, I don't need the other Trickster Shard anymore. I just need to punch you in the face a few times. But yeah, granted, now if he doesn't have any, what's it called? Characters in base with him, he's got 5 strength 4, which is or I'm sorry, 4 strength 5, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. Also, I wanted some more magic attacks in this army because unfortunately I got a game in against well, let me rephrase that. I got a game in against another VC player, not this one, but a different one, and I forgot my damn camera. But we played the game, and he had a bunch of spirit hosts in his army, and I discovered that without magical attacks, I'm at a serious disadvantage. Not that it mattered because I'm awesome and I actually won that game by just under 200 points. But my reasoning here was, oh yeah, I should probably put more magic in this army so that when I run into, you know, ethereal stuff, I can actually hurt it. Next up, I have my Lich High Priest, Queen Elizabeth. She's the same. She's level 4 wizard, Staff of Sorcery, and the Laura Nehara, however the heck you say that word. I kept her because she's working out really good. She's a level 4 with 4 really solid spells designed specifically to support the Tomb Kings, and I don't care what anybody says. The ability to give any unit Killing Blow, +1 attack, and or what's it called? 5-up ward is friggin' amazing to me. So, and it's all relatively cheap given the way I kind of do it with the Hydra Titan and the Casket of Souls. But the Staff of Sorcery gives you that advantage in the Dispel phase of basically being a level 5 wizard. So I really do like that kit. And she's cheap. If she does end up dying, it doesn't necessarily end the game. My hero choices, I still have my Necrotech Dark Vincent. He's got the Dragon Helm and the Iron Curse icon. I keep him in there for 2 reasons. Number 1, that 12-inch bubble of 6-up regen from my constructs is great. And number 2, hatred. I know a lot of people are like, oh, your opponents are just going to look at him and target him and kill him. Yeah, that's true. They will. But if they don't, or if they waste a bunch of attacks going after the Necrotech instead of the unit, that's fine. Yeah, I lose hatred, I lose 6-up bubble. Not huge losses, but if they have to direct attacks against the Necrotech as opposed to the unit, my unit sticks around longer and is going to be able to kill them all. And if they don't kill my Necrotech, I have hatred. Remember what I said earlier about having 8 strength, 7 attacks with the Sword of Anti-Heroes if there's, you know, 3 characters in base to base with that unit? Imagine getting to reroll weapon skill 6, 7 strength 8 attacks. Now imagine you get Killing Blow or +1 attack or something, or both. Which I'm very able to do it with a level 4 wizard with all the bells and whistles. You're looking at one hell of a powerhouse. Then of course all the attacks from the Skeleton Wars with Killing Blow, I might add, if I'm lucky enough to get that spell off. You're looking at a serious combo there, and plus, I just liked the Necrotech, so I took him. Plus, having the Iron Curse icon in the unit kind of helps. And then, of course, I have my Lich Priest, Sinister Jeffrey, who's a level 2 wizard with the Dispel Scroll and the Lorelite. And I'm really enjoying the Lorelite. Not so much for the augments, because, to be honest with you, they usually get dispelled. Shem's Burning Gaze, especially against undead and demons, is a face melter. And I did not give it the credit it deserved at all. My core choices are a unit of 58 skeleton warriors with full command and light armor shields, 14 skeleton archers with full command, and I gave them full command for 2 reasons. One, I wanted a banner in the unit. It's +1 combat res, which is nice, but also for fortitude things. You know, I'm prepping for the next GT I go to, which will probably be January, but having as many banners in this army as I can is good because fortitude. And, you know, it doesn't hurt anything. And then I've got my 3 chariots with Banner Musician and the Banner of Eternal Flame, and I really like that unit. The problem is I get really excited about 3d6 Strength 4 impact hits, and all I want to do is charge with them. So I've got to learn a little restraint with them, but you know what? It's 185 points, 195 points. Screw it. It's fun. My special choice are my 6 by Necropolis Knights, the Snakes, with Banner Musician. 3 Sulfural Stalkers, and I love those guys. And my rare choices are a Necrolith Colossus with extra hand weapon, and I swapped out my War Sphinx for the Colossus. He's cheaper, which I like. He is still toughness 6. He's got, with the extra hand weapon, 5 strength 6 attacks. I like the idea of his unstoppable assault. And my wife, I got her a model, oh gosh, 6-7 years ago at the first Lone Wolf I ever went to, and she painted it up, and I never used it, and it actually fell into my bits box and was sitting in there for years, and I found it, and I wanted to use it. So the War Sphinx went to the sidelines, and the Necrolith Colossus jumped in, and I was able to add a few extra little ditties to the army. I have my Hyro Titan, Nad the Protector still. I have a Screaming Skull Catapult now. I know, pick your jaws up off the ground. And I have the Casket of Souls, because I love it. And this is my opponent's list. He has a Vampire Lord as his general, who was a level 4 wizard, Black Parapet, Talisman of Preservation, Aura of Dark Majesty, Beguile, Dark Acolyte, Summon Creatures of the Night, and Lore Vampires. This guy was a mini demon prince. The only thing he was missing was the wings. And, you know, the Mark of Chaos. His hero choices were a White King BSB with the Armor of Destiny, a Necromancer who was a level 2 wizard with a Relic Sword, a Dispel Scroll, Talisman of Protection, and the Lore of Vampires. And then he had a Baby Vampire who was a level 2 wizard, Armor of Silvered Steel, Dragonbane Gem, Dark Acolyte, Beguile, Lore of Vampires. And he had a Card Wraith, just doing his thing all by himself. His core choices were a unit of 40 Skeleton Warriors with full command, light armor, shield, and the Lichbone Pendant, 30 Crypt Ghouls, 20 Zombies, and 2 units of 5 Direwolves. His special choices were 2 units of Hex Wraiths with a unit champion in both, and a Corpse Cart with the Balefire, I believe. Last but certainly not least was the obligatory Terrorgeist. Here are my spells, which are 4 from the Lore of Hekara, 2 from the Lore Light, and then of course Spirit Leech, which was on my Hyro Titan. And here's deployment. For the most part, I was nervous as hell about the Hex Race and the Karn Wraith. The only 3 units that I really didn't have much of an answer to. I had Shem's Burning Gaze on my Lich Priest, I had it on my Hyro Titan, and I had the sort of anti-heroes on my Skeleton unit. But the Hex Race, I was really worried about just running through my units and doing a whole bunch of wounds no armor save. So I was really nervous about that. I guess I did have the Catapult, but the Catapult had to go against the Terrorgeist, because that thing was just too terrifying to leave alone. So I was really hoping on those combos to work out for me. So the Chariots went way over on the left side on their own, because with that little impassable cave in the middle of the board, I had a really nice bottleneck. I was really hoping that he would try to send like the Terrorgeist through it or something, and hopefully with the flaming attacks and everything like that, with impact hits, they'd be able to take the thing out, or at least seriously damage it and keep it away from the vampire so that he couldn't heal any wounds on it. The giant Colossus and my skeleton warriors were pretty much right there in the middle, just daring something to come close. My unit of snakes were kind of behind the impassable mountain terrain there, just kind of doing the bottleneck. Hopefully something comes into the skeleton warriors, I get to kill it type of deal. My archers with my 2 lich priests were in the back, scared and hiding, and my casket of souls was behind the Hyro Titan with the hopes that he would not be able to get to it and blow everything up, which would kind of suck. Although if the Hex Race jumped into it, I would actually be okay with that sacrifice. But yeah, I deployed like this because he had to come to me, and the hope was it kind of bottlenecks in between the cave and the impassable mountain terrain. And with the chariots down the middle, everybody's afraid of 3d6 strength for impact hits. I don't care who you are. So the idea was everything funnels into me, and I kill it at my leisure. Here's the vampire's right flank, and the Hellflare, or the Hellstrider unit right there is actually a unit of his Hex Race. Behind that is the obvious Terrorgeist. Next to that is his Corpse Cart, and in front of that is a unit of zombies with his Necromancer installed. Over here in his center, from left to right, is his huge unit of skeletons with both his vampires and his BSB installed. Right next to them is the solo Karn Wraith. In front of them are the 2 units of Direwolves. Next to them is a unit of Hex Rays, and behind them are the ghouls. Here's my right flank, which consists mainly of my snakes, my Hyro Titan, and my casket. And yes, that is a custom-built by me casket of souls, and I will get pictures of my army and everything later on. I just don't think about it. I'm just excited to play these guys, so I just want to play. So any picture you see will probably be from behind. And here's my center, which consists of, from back to front, my Skeleton Warriors with my High Lich Priest on the right and my Low Lich Priest on the left, my Skeleton Warriors with my Tomb King on the left and my Necrotech on the right, and the big, awesome skeleton-looking thing with 2 weapons is my Colossus. And I just like the model, I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if this thing's good or not. And here's my left flank, which consists of my Chariots and my Catapult. I do have Stalkers, but they're hidden in the sands. Here's top 1 after movement, and as you can see, I got to go first. Not a whole lot of movement. My chariots moved up slightly, trying to get the Hex Race to come after them. If the Hex Race go after them, they'll leave the other stuff alone just long enough. Maybe I can magic it, maybe I can stone throw it. Maybe I can get lucky and kill his general and, you know, do something like that. I highly doubt it, but I was willing to sacrifice the chariots if that's what it took in order to get his Hex Race out of the game for a turn or 2 and buy me time. Other than that, everything just kind of stayed where it was at because I needed to deal with his ethereal stuff immediately. My Low Lich Priest with Laura Light, he moved into the unit of skeletons so he could try to fire off his Shem's Burning Gaze at one of the unit of Hex Race. And so we go into magic phase, and that's exactly what happens. Sinister Jeffrey opens his laser eyes and obliterates all 5 of the Hex Race on my left flank, which was a huge relief for me. I really didn't have an answer for those guys other than magic and maybe my Tomb King if he was foolish enough to charge him, because I'm not chasing down anything in this army. So Sinister Jeffrey does the regular spell. It's 2d6 because they're undead as opposed to 1d6. Strength 4, flaming, all the goodness, and 5 die, which was huge. Unfortunately, it was a miscast, and I miscast 8.
No! You must not read from the book!
Not a, mind-blowing miscast or anything like that. It does end my magic phase a little prematurely, but both my Lich Priests take wounds because it's that Strength 6, everything. Both the Lich Priests end up taking a wound from it, which sucks, but they're alive, and that's better than if I rolled a 4 or something like that. Then over here, my Catapult. I fire at the Terrorgeist. I was really debating, do I go after the Terrorgeist? Do I go after the Corpse Cart? Do I try to take out the Hex Race? Do I try to take out his Karn Wraith? I didn't know. I literally sat there for like 2 minutes debating, and finally I was like, screw it. I'm going to go for the Terrorgeist. I have a better chance of hitting it anyway, and it's too dangerous at full wounds. So I roll, I direct hit, and I do 4 wounds of this thing, which was huge. Now the Scream's not as terrifying. And then over here, my archers, the 6 that could see, take some pot shots at the direwolves, and snake one. So, hey, I'll take it. With all that fun said and done, we go over here to bottom of 1 after movement. And there's a lot. My opponent pretty much comes forward as fast as he can for the most part. His Hex Race charged into my snakes, and at first I was like, wow, that was stupid. And then I realized, oh wait, no, I can't hurt these things at all. And having weapon skill 3, strength 5, he no armor saves, he's gonna pretty much pulverize my snakes. So my only hope here was try to get the 5-up ward save off on my snakes and keep them there as long as I can until maybe in the end of the game. Maybe I could get one snake to survive and then the Hex Race would go away. Or just, be impotent the entire game. Other than that, his direwolves pretty much stay in the middle and block everything, and his Terrorgeist flies over to get within 8 inches of my chariots to scream at him. I don't fully understand why he angled them in that direction. Maybe if my chariots did survive it, they wouldn't be able to go after the rest of his army right away. Not 100% on that one because they're still in my charge arc. So if the Terrorgeist doesn't kill the chariots, who's only, they're gonna charge him. I don't care if I've only got one left. Here's a better picture of his Hex Race slamming into my snakes, and I was very worried about this one, I won't lie to you. But nothing happens in his magic phase because he rolls like a 3 and I'm able to stop it because I have +1 on him, which is awesome. And so we go into combat, and as you can see, he rolls for his Hex Race to attack, and he rolls 5 1s. All the Hex Race failed to hit. I'm sorry, he actually rolled 6. The 1 was picked up. But yeah, all 6 dice he rolls 1s. Could not believe how lucky I was getting. The dice gods are actually smiling on me, and I wasn't prepared for it. It ends up his horses attack. The horses actually wound 4 times, but I have my armor save against them, and I make them. So he has a charge to my rank and a banner. I win by 1 and a Hex Race dies, which is fantastic. I won't lie. I was giddy like a schoolgirl. I was like, eee! My snakes are going to survive, hopefully. So very happy about that. And yeah, we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement because the Terrorgeist rolled like a 5 + 2 because he only had 2 wounds left. So he rolled like a 6 against my chariots, leadership 7, so they were fine. So we go to top of 2, and my chariots charge a Terrorgeist because screw that thing. I can kill it. I've got flaming attacks on that damn thing. They're going in. They need 6s to wound it, but screw it. This is my best chance. So they charge in there and make it no problem. I toyed with charging the Hyro Titan into the flank of the what's it called? The Hex Race. Not because he could do anything to him, because charge and flank, plus banner rank, I'm up by 4. But what are the odds he's going to roll like crap again and not decimate that unit and crumble everything? So I decided, screw that, the snakes are on their own. I moved the Hyro Titan up slightly so I could get into range for Shem's Burning Gaze on his Karn Wraith, and I moved the Colossus up slightly so that next turn I could possibly charge his unit of zombies with his Necromancer in there. And if his dogs charge the Colossus, I'll take 12 points off him. Yeah, no problem at all. Other than that, everything pretty much stays where it's at. With the exception of my snakes. They came onto the board. I tried to put them over near where the Karn Wraith and the ghouls were. I was just going to harass them. But I rolled a misfire, and I rolled a 2. So the sands reclaim my stalkers, and it's sad. Really, really sucks. I knew it was going to happen eventually. I just was hoping it would be few and far between. But I still like this unit. It's still going to be in the dang army pretty much every time I play the army. That I can afford to put him in there, so no complaints. There's a better picture of my chariot slamming into his Terrorgeist, and I'm really looking forward to killing that thing because, I feel like I got really lucky there. During the magic phase, my Hyro Titan gets Shem's Burning Gaze off on the Karn Wraith and is able to obliterate it, which is good, because that's one less ethereal unit I have to worry about now. And during the shooting phase, I take a pot shot with my catapult onto his corpse cart and actually hit it and wound it and do 3 wounds to it. I was very excited. That catapult is very nice when it's actually hitting. And then my archers, the same 6, take another pot shot at the direwolves and pop off another one, which was just awesome. Over here in combat, once again, the Hex Wraith's flub. He hits and wounds, not with a Hex Wraith, with a horse. Yeah, a horse got a wound through on my snake. So with his wound to my rank and banner, I win by 1 again, and another Hex Wraith goes up. And I'm not complaining at all. Those models are terrifying, and I just thought that was great. Then over here in combat, my chariots slam into the Terrorgeist and bust it down to its baser elements. It's so glorious. They do end up taking a couple of wounds for their trouble, but other than that, I'm perfectly fine. And they turn around to face that unit with the Necromancer and the zombies, because guess where I want to charge next time? So we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement, and I don't really fully understand what he was doing here either, but his direwolves charge my bone giant, or my colossus, and his smaller unit of direwolves charge my Hierotitan, which again I don't fully understand. I guess he just realized they were in the way and wanted to get rid of them. Other than that, his big unit of skeletons and his ghouls move up. His his corpse cart moves up slightly, but his zombies stay still. I kind of expected his zombies to turn to face the chariots or something, but they didn't. They stayed perfectly still right where they were at, which was okay with me. I won't lie to you. Other than that, everything is dead or, well, in combat. Here's a better picture of his dog slamming into my Hierotitan. And here's a better picture of his other dogs charging into my Colossus. His magic phase is dispelled by me, and his shooting phase doesn't exist, so we go into combat, and the dogs are actually able to slip a wound through on my Colossus, but with his 5 attacks and Stomp, he's able to finish the dogs off, which is nice. Then over here in combat, the Hex Wraiths actually finally do it. They're able to put another wound onto my snakes. Ignore the 2 wound counters in the back there. He puts another wound on. He puts 2 wounds on the snakes. Or is it 3? I can't remember. I think he puts 3 wounds through on the snakes. And he, so 3 wounds to, no, he does 2 wounds. That's what it was. He does 2 wounds. He kills one of my snakes. And so he does 2 wounds to my 1 banner. And I'm an arcane construct, so he wins by 1, doesn't matter, doesn't hurt me or any old ball, but he finally wins a combat, and so now I'm like, oh, okay, well now my snakes are screwed, but it's like almost turn 3, so I should be able to weather the rest of these attacks, provided he doesn't go crazy with it, and keep all my points. I won't get the Hex Rays, but so what? Then over here in combat, the Warhounds just get slaughtered by the Hierotitan, which it was kind of obvious. So we go over here to top of 3 after movement, and I charge. My chariots go into the side of the zombies and make it, which is awesome. My Colossus charges his zombies and misses it by an inch, which really hurt my feelings. But what can you do? It is what it is. My baby Lich Priest, he jumps out of the unit of skeletons and is kind of in the bottom center of the board there. I was worried about his ghouls or his skeletons charging into my skeletons and everything like that and making it. So I jumped him out of the unit just so that he didn't get caught up in that close combat and couldn't use his magic missile or just get slaughtered by attacks directed at him. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Nothing else really moves on my end. Again, I toyed with charging into the Hex Race, but I really wanted to use Shem's Burning Gaze to just try to take out some of these rank and file that he's got coming at me, because the less he has when he gets into combat, the better. There's a better picture of the chariots making a charge and the Colossus failing one, which was unfortunate. I really wanted to see how he would do on the charge, but I also saw the opportunity of my opponent possibly making, in my opinion, a mistake. If he charges my Colossus here with his big unit of skeletons, with his 2 vampires and his BSB, he doesn't have to wound at all, and he's still pretty much won this combat, and my Colossus is going to fall apart. He's got 2 vampires in there and a BSB and a ton of skeletons. He's going to wound. So if he charges him, though, he's close enough that I'm going to charge him with my Skeleton Warriors, with my Tomb King and my Necrotech, and then with my Hierotitan, because he's still pretty good against infantry. So the idea here was, this sucks. I wasn't happy that the Colossus failed the charge, but if he sacrifices himself so that the skeletons are in a position where I can make an easy charge with 2 units, that might really work out for me, because taking that 1 combat res away is 1 more skeleton dead, or 1 less of mine dead if I fail this one. So anyway, that was the hope. to hope, to kind of push that hope, during my magic phase, nothing happened. He was able to stop it. But during my shooting phase, I fired the cannon right on top of his little baby vampire with the off hope that she would roll a 1 for his lookout, sir, and I'd be able to squish and kill her. It was not a big deal. It wasn't a huge loss if she didn't. But he actually doesn't bother with the roll. He's like, yeah, she'll take it because it's flaming, right? And I was like, yeah, she's got the Dragonbane gem. I didn't know that. So I do wound her, but he makes his ward save. He rolls like a 3. But I am able to kill 4 of his skeletons with the rest of the hits, which is, like I said, good. Every model he has less when he gets into combat with me, the better. And then the casket, just because I had to die left over during the magic phase. I'm sorry, this is a little out of sequence. But yeah, the casket actually did get its spell off, and I was able to kill 3 ghouls, which was pretty cool, actually, all things considered. Then in combat over here, once again, he does a wound. I have a banner. He loses by 1 because I have a musician and he does not. So he's down to 2 hex race, and this accidental win is just glorious for me. Then over here in combat, I missed the damn Necromancer. I send both chariots that are in base to base with the Necromancer, all the attacks into him, and I'm only able to wound him twice. And he's got a 6-up ward, and he ward saved 1. So I wasn't able to kill the Necromancer, but as you can see, with impact hits and the rest of my attacks, I was able to do a serious whooping on the zombies. They're still there. He does not turn to face me. I don't know why. I don't know if he just forgot or if he didn't care. I really wasn't sure. But he doesn't turn to face me. He stays like this, and we're stuck in another turn where he's got that damn... I wanted to kill his Necromancer, so he had 1 less spell, he had 1 less power die, he had 1 less of everything in the magic phase. That was the hope here, and unfortunately I failed, but I'm not complaining because it was still a really good combat for me. So we go over here to bottom of 3 after movement, and it actually happens. His skeleton wars with his vampires and everything charge the Colossus. And while I knew the Colossus was dead, well, gone anyway, and that sucks, I knew I was going to be able to charge him. I knew that I had a really good chance of getting both of those units in there, and if they both make it in there, I had a really good chance of vaping that unit before anything could happen. So really kind of excited about that. Other than that, his corpse cart shifts over a little bit. His ghouls come up slightly, I think maybe an inch, and everything else he has is deader in combat. I forgot to take a picture of him being into the unit of Colossus, but nothing happens in his magic phase. He actually, I'm bragging here a little bit, so go ahead and roll your eyes, but he actually rolled boxcars for his magic phase. He had 12 dice, and I think I channeled 1, so I had 7. I was able to stop every single spell because I had to staff a sorcery. He tried to get invocation off 3 times. The first time I stopped it with dice, the second time I stopped it with the rest of my dice, and the third time I used my scroll. He got no spells off. It was very awesome. I was very happy, and both times that I was able to stop his spells with dice is because I had that extra +1 thanks to the Staff of Sorcery. So it is probably the best magic item that I could use for this army. And I enjoy it. And of course, the obligatory scroll was huge too. So he wasn't able to resurrect anything. He wasn't able to get Always Strike First or anything like that. So it really worked out nice for me. But unfortunately, in combat, as you've seen here, I get my poor skeleton just gets pounded. He does get his attacks, though. The vampires failed to just flat out kill him off. He took 3 wounds because he had 1 already. He's got 5, and I was able to attack. I've sent all my attacks after his, his little vampire, and she was able to make all of her saves. But with Thunderstomps, I was able to kill 4 more skeletons, which I felt pretty good about because now that unit's down 8, and they're not going to get a chance to, res any before we go into combat with him again. But of course, with his combat res, the last wound is put on my skeleton, and he dies, and he leans on the cave and expires again. And I was a little sad about that, but it was a worthy sacrifice. His skeleton warriors do reform to face my skeleton warriors, which is fine because I will see him next turn if I can make a charge. Then over here in combat, again, he flubs. It's so bad. He does nothing. I've got a banner, so I win by 1, and another Hex Wraith dies. I couldn't believe how lucky I was getting here. And like I've said a million times, I'd rather be lucky than good any day. In combat over here, I'm able to finish off his Necromancer, which is huge. I kill all but 3 zombies with combat res, and I believe the zombies do turn to face me here after combat is over, but that's fine. They're dead next turn. And then we go over here to top of 4 after movement. And as you can see, I send both those units that I've been hoping to send into the Skeleton Warriors. Both my Skeleton Warriors with Tomb King and Necrotech installed go into his Skeleton Warriors. And my Hydro Titan charges in and makes it. Believe it or not, the Skeleton Warriors made it by an inch. It was really close. And the Titan made it all day. It was like all he ever did with his life was charge. Now, I do realize that by sending them into the Skeleton Warriors, I put my Hierophant and my Archers in a really bad spot. Like, his ghouls could have made the charge if he rolled a 8 or a 9. But you know, you got to bet big to win big. You know, the old Garage Hammer podcast theory. And I bet big to win big. I was like, if I can kill his general, that was my hope. Kill his general, he starts taking crumble checks. And then I can work, because his Necromancer's dead. His general, if I could kill him, he's got to take some crumble checks. Maybe that would free up that, you know, the snakes that are in combat with the Hex Wraith, and they could go and deal with the ghouls for me. But I wasn't sure. You know, it really came down to how well I was rolling. I knew I had an advantage because of my Will Be Done. I knew that, you know, his characters weren't going to be in base to base with my Tomb King, so he was going to probably survive. And weapon skill 6 skeletons, weapon skill 2 skeletons is a big advantage in this fight. So that was my hope anyway. Other than that, my little baby Lich Priest, he moves over so he can try to Shem's Burning Gaze that unit of ghouls, just in case they do make it into my skeletons. The less he has, the better off I am. And everything else I have is either in combat or I'm a Tomb King. I don't move a whole lot, you know? There's a better picture of just an awesome battle right there. My Skeleton Warriors and General and Hero and Arcane Construct of Doom versus his unit of Skeleton Warriors with Big Lord, Little Hero, and BSB. Very excited about this fight. During the magic phase, I get the big Shem's Burning Gaze off on his ghouls, and I'm able to kill 6, which was pretty cool. And then I was able to get +1 attack and killing blow off on this unit, which was huge because if you recall what I was saying before at the beginning of the game, I have the sort of anti-heroes on my Tomb King. He charged into this unit of Skeleton Warriors with a Vampire Lord, a Vampire, and a White King BSB, all of which are in base to base with my Skeleton Warriors. So I have a Strength 8, 7, now 8 attack, Killing Blow Tomb King. Not to mention all the extra attacks I have from my Skeleton Warriors, the attacks I have from the Necrotech, and if the Necrotech survives, Hatred. It's the perfect storm of win right now. These skeletons don't know the blender they're about to deal with. So that's where I'm at with this one. I'm like jumping out of my skin. My opponent stopped the 5-up ward save, and he also stopped the speed of light. That's where his dispel dice went. But I was concentrating fire on with my level 4 onto this unit exclusively. I didn't care about anything else. So that unit I was able to just 2 dice everything because the Hydro Titan was still within 12 of my Lich Priests, and you know he's a level 4. So level 4 plus D3, you know, plus 2 dice. I just had to roll average, and it was really hard for him to keep up. He did stop speed of light. He did stop the 5-up ward, but oh, it was just glorious. Then in the shooting phase, the catapult finishes off the corpse cart. This thing has shot and hit 4 times in a row now. I apologize. You guys were so right about the catapult because when it's hitting, it is on point. I was wrong. I was wrong about the catapult. I apologize. I will eat the crow, no problem. But yes, the catapult, let's go over what he did real quick. I know real quick, mid-game recant. 4 wounds onto the Terrorgeist. 4 wounds onto the damn, what's it called? Skeleton Warriors. 4 wounds onto the corpse cart altogether. Grand total of yes. For 90 points, it's the most efficient war machine I've ever used. So yes, yes. I have the catapult in the army now as often as I can take it. You guys win, I apologize. Then over here in combat, the one remaining Hex Wraith decides he's not going to die. He puts 2 wounds through on my snakes. There's obviously no armor save, so there's nothing I can do about it. He kills one, but his 2 wounds to my banner, he wins by 1. I'm an Arcane Construct, couldn't care less. And I'm down to 4 snakes to his 1 Hex Wraith. But my hope, once again, was kill his general, pop the Wraith. Then we go into combat over here. And it's brutal. I lose 6 skeleton warriors because my unit champion issues a challenge, and I believe his baby vampire accepted, which was fine. She is easily able to kill my skeleton unit champion, but he only does 1 wound. He rolls kind of crappy, and I'm able to make some parry saves, which was just lucky rolling. My Tomb King picks up his Sword of Anti-Heroes and slaughters 6 skeleton warriors all by himself. My skeletons, I believe, killed 12 or 13 skeleton warriors. Killing Blow was a huge factor because it negated his 5-up armor. And then I sent 6 skeletons worth of attacks. So 2, 4, 6, 8 attacks into his general. With Hatred, I needed 4s to hit him, so I hit him all 8 times, and I needed 6s to wound. I have Killing Blow. He's an infantry character. All I had to do was roll 6s. Any 6 that I rolled was, you better make your save because you're going to die. I rolled 2 6s. He had a 4-up ward save. He had the Talisman of Preservation on this guy. Math says I've got him, and math proved to be correct. There he is in the back right there, the little Manfred model or whatever. He saved one, and he rolled a 1 on the other. Killing Blowed his general. So awesome. I won't lie, I was very pleased that the skeleton warriors killed his general. He did not direct any attacks on my Necro Tech, so I got the Hatred across the board. I was able to kill... Oh gosh. I think out of the 30 that were left, I think 18 died or something like that, and his general. My Hyro Titan tried to punch his BSB in the face and kill him, but I was only able to put 1 wound through on him. But I Thunder Stomped and did some more wounds there. I win this combat by 20. That's right. That's right. By 20. And...
You in my house, motherfucker!
The unit obliterates. All is dead. All that is vampire is dead from that unit, and I lost 6 skeletons. I have never been more happy with an army than I am with the Tomb Kings. I don't understand why I'm doing well with them. I really don't. I understand my rationale thinking that Tomb Kings were weak. I understand my rationale that I thought that they were a bottom tier army. This army's just clicking with me. I don't know. Maybe that's I've just found my Rosetta Stone when it comes to armies. I speak their language. Maybe I'm really undead inside and I just don't realize it because all the flesh and pulse and soul. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. My Hyro Titan, he overran because I didn't want the ghouls charging him and getting an easy kill. But my Skeleton Warriors, they just turned and they dared the ghouls to come at him. I wanted them to. But yeah, that's how that one went, and chalk one up for the Tomb Kings. Over here in combat, the Chariots finish off the last 3 zombies and just kind of turn to face the rest of the combat just to see what happens. And then at the end of the combat phase, since his general's dead, his ghouls, he had to roll a crumbles check for his Hex Wraith and his ghouls. He rolls Snake Eyes for his Hex Wraith, and then he rolls really high, and 5 ghouls die, which is fine with me. So we go over here to bottom of 4 after movement, and at the very beginning of the turn, since it was his turn, he had to do crumble checks again, and the Hex Wraith dies. So his ghouls charge into the snakes. Other than that, everything he has is off the table. There's a better picture of his ghouls slamming into the snakes, and the snakes, as always, have done incredibly well. They weathered 3.5 or 6 rounds, basically, or 5 rounds anyway, of combat against Hex Rays that they could do nothing against, and they won. I love these guys. Nothing happens because you don't have a magic or shooting phase. So we go into combat, and I can finally hit back. I do take a wound, but he takes a bunch more than I do. He picks up a handful. It wasn't a huge win in my favor, but it was a win. And the ghouls, they suffer for it, and they sit there for top of 5 after movement. And yeah, I know it's a dick move, but my skeleton warriors go charging into the ghouls. Turns out it's a rear charge, and so yeah, they make it in, and that's all that really happens. There's a better picture of the skeleton warriors slamming into the end or into the rear of the ghouls, and it's just mopping up. I was gonna do my magic phase just out of force of habit, and then my opponent's like, "Do you really need your magic phase right now?" It's like, "Oh yeah, good point." So I skip it, and we go straight into combat, and boom, every single one is dead. Just every single one. All my snakes are able to make their saves. The ghouls aren't really able to do anything to my skeleton wars. I think I lose 1 or 2, but every single one of them dies, and so be it. And there you go, guys. There's the end of the game. I tabled him in round 5, top of 5. He just had nothing left. And now, before everybody starts going, "Yay!" keep in mind, and I didn't tell you this, so of course you didn't know. But it was his first game with the vampire counts. It's his wife's army. He just wanted to try it out because of the Undead Legions thing and stuff like that. He's usually a demon player. So it wasn't too far off for what he's used to, but it was still, not then the magic phase and, not having the 5-up ward save everywhere. So it was a little different for him. It was his first game with him. There was a few tactical mistakes that we both made, but it still felt good that the Tomb Kings were able to rise to the challenge as well as they did. I was very proud of my army. I really like the way I have it set up. It really the synergy is there. I am now a believer in catapults. Screaming Skull catapults are very nice. You win. So yeah, I'm very happy about how this one worked out. But you know what? We'll get to the recap in a minute because right now it's time for a quick timeout. Banners, banners, banners. Get you some banners. Look at the banners. You are never going to be able to get better banners than this. There is no company, there is no talent scout, there is no entity on the planet that's going to get you banners better than this. Custom banners for your custom army. You want better paint scores. You want that little edge that makes your army better than the guy next to you. Sick of running, going to tournaments and getting that paint score that's just a few points lower than the guy that literally sneezes on his army. And you can't figure out why? Get these banners and make your army really pop, really stand out. Send this guy an email, tell him what you want, and get yourself some banners. It's totally worth it. Just real quick, guys, I promised I was going to do this. I have slides up with, it's a shameless ad for myself. This is what's left of my Warriors of Chaos army that I'm willing to sell. Each unit is for sale that I'm showing on here because it wouldn't make any sense not to. The price is on the slide, and if you buy more than one unit, yes, I will make a deal with you. We can, the more you buy, the less everything will be. Shipping is included in the price unless you don't live in the United States. I'm sorry, but shipping overseas, I'm willing to do it, but you're going to have to pay for shipping. And I'll let you know right now, depending on what you buy, it's anywhere from $20 to $40 to ship. And it's all in, American dollars. So I apologize to you guys that live overseas. It's not my fault that the post office charges an insane amount to send stuff over there. But I'm not gonna, just give this stuff away. It still means a little something to me, But I also like money. So if you want some of this stuff, go ahead and send me an email. There's my email right there on the slide, and we'll work something out if we can. Should be nice. But enjoy. But, yep, if you're done looking at my ad, or if you just fast forwarded to this point, as you can see, it was a victory for Lord Tremendous. Opponent was tabled in by turn 5. I ended up losing my Stalkers because, if you remember, I misfired 2, and I lost my Colossus, and he sacrificed himself well. The Vampires, on the other hand, ended up losing everything. That's what tabled means. My magic phase was brutal. Shem's Burning Gaze took out a unit of Hex Wraiths before they could do anything, took out that Karn Wraith before he could do anything, really hurt his ghouls, did a number on his skeletons, and basically won me the game in that combat where I had +1 attack and killing blow on my skeleton warriors. It gave me the ability to finish off his Vampire Lord, and that was huge. My magic phase, I really like the way I have this army set up because my magic phase is so brutal. It's just so strong that I really can't go wrong with it. You know, that my opponents really have to focus on what spells to dispel and which ones to let go, and if they make any mistake, they could lose the game. So yeah, I really am enjoying how my Tomb King magic phase is going. Screaming Skull Catapults. Like I said earlier in the battle report, I admit I was very wrong about them. I do like them. I understand why people take more than one. I won't. I'll just take one for now. But damn, did that thing use? It was so useful. I really enjoyed it. My poor Stalkers. They never even got a chance. The Sands! The Sands! They took my Stalkers from me. But, you know what? That's just part of the gamble. It's a wonderful unit. It does some serious damage to the bad guys. But, at the same time, with great power comes great risk. And I had to pay the price today, and that's fine. That final battle, Skeleton Warriors versus Skeleton Warriors. Yes, I cheated and I brought the Hyro Titan in, but that's okay. I never claimed to enjoy a fair fight. But that was amazing. The fact that the Tomb Kings, especially Skeleton Warriors of all things, doing that well against them, I was so proud of them. So proud. And the Sword of Anti-Heroes is just, well, it's friggin' heroic. I really wish I had been using it since game 1. I don't know why I wasn't. I didn't think about it. It's not something, you know, again, I have a lot of Warriors of Chaos generalship, you know, in my bones. And I just didn't think about it. You know, that sword was never overly intelligent use for, you know, like a Demon Prince or even Lady Elizabeth. But I'm really kind of regretting not using it earlier because it is an amazing, amazing weapon. I had 7 Strength 8 attacks plus 1 for the spell. So actually 8 Strength 8 attacks with Killing Blow, with Hatred, thanks to that sword. And, you know, the correct unit hitting my unit. So really enjoyed that. Like, that was awesome. So I will be keeping these sort of anti-heroes on my Tomb King for a while, because that's awesome. I really like my kit out for my Tomb King, too. He's got a 2-up rerollable armor save, he's got the Sword of Anti-Heroes, and if I'm lucky, I can get a 5-up ward save cast on him by my level 4. You know, and he could get +1 attack, and he could get Killing Blow, and if I'm lucky with the Laura Light, he could be Always Strikes First, Weapon Skill 10, Initiative 10. So, really, I'm really enjoying this. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. I know it's there. I know it's going to find me eventually, because that's just the way it goes, but Tomb Kings are not weak. I'm sorry. But really enjoy playing the Tomb Kings. It feels like the hobby is completely new to me. It's great. I'm really enjoying playing them. I miss them a lot, and oh, it's so much fun to play these guys. But this was a great game. Really great opponent. And again, don't judge him harshly or anything like that. I mean, it's a friendly game. Nobody's really going to judge him, but you know what I mean. It was the first game he had with vampire counts, and, you know, it's his wife's army. He just wanted to try them out. And I don't think he liked them. I got to be honest with you. I think he was missing his demons by the end. But hey, you know what? You don't know until you try. And that's going to do it for this battle report. But before I close it out, I got a surprise for you guys. Anybody who stuck through this long-ass battle report, it was all worth it because... What do you guys think of the dice? I am going to have a set of dice made that are that you can only get from me for by playing me. These particular dice are going to be for sale. I ordered 100 of them, so I'm only gonna have 100, but they're $1 each. So, and I'm gonna at first it's gonna be limited to 4 a customer until I get until everybody has a chance at them because I don't want somebody just sending me $100 bill and going send them all to me. So it's going to be limited to 4 each. You get 2 pairs, it'd be $4 a person, plus shipping. Because I'm sorry, I'm not paying the shipping for you. But the shipping should only be like $2, so it's not too bad. But it's per person. So if you've got a bunch of people you're buying them for, just be honest. I'm looking for a little integrity here. I know, honesty, internet doesn't really match up, but I'm hoping. But yes, the you could be one of the first to own Edition 1 Lord Tremendous dice. These, like I said, there's only 100, and when they're all sold, I don't plan on making a huge profit at all off of these because I'm going to use all the money to buy more dice, more custom dice. And each edition will be different. I'll probably start putting, Edition 2, Edition 3 on there somewhere. But as you can see, it's got Lord Tremendous written in bones across it and a little sarcophagus to represent the Tomb Kings. I did ask them to put the Zinj symbol on there or a Chaos symbol on there, but GW has sent this company a cease and desist order, so they actually can't. So that's why there's no Chaos symbol on here at all. But I do have Lord Tremendous. I do have the sarcophagus. It is blue and like gray or silver and stuff like that. So the blue can kind of represent the Zinch, and the silver kind of represents the Tomb Kings, because yes. And I like them. I'm gonna have a pair because they're mine. And yeah, but if you want some, I won't have them for another few weeks. But once they come in, I'll let everybody know. So if you guys want to get you guys together and be like, hey, I want to get some of these dice, yada yada yada. I will be having a pair probably in the next month or so. There'll be 2 different types, and you'll see what they are once I have them. Yeah, that's right, little suspense. But those, not these dice. These are for sale. But the next dice that I get, that I show everybody, those dice you'll only ever be able to get from me anyway. I mean, I can't stop people from giving them out once they have them. But you'll only be able to get those particulars from me by playing me in a game. So you got, you'll have to track me down or meet me at a GT, one of the two, right? But I hope you guys like them. And like I said, if you do, my email was on this battle report earlier in the report, so you can just shift back over to that slide and send me an email. And in a few weeks, 3-4 weeks, I'll start sending out invoices and sending out dice. So there you go, guys. And yeah, hope you like them. But yeah, guys, after what's probably been a 6-hour battle report, I'm done. So it's good to be back. I hope I've crammed enough awesome into this battle report in order to placate everybody who had to suffer through the last 8 Warriors of Chaos ones when all they wanted from me was Tomb Kings. But with, selling off the Warriors of Chaos, the Banner Guy ad, and the dice reveal, and, a massacre victory with the Tomb Kings, I think I delivered with this one. And if not, what more do you want from me, you selfish bastard? As always, though, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.